Hi everyone, Linda here. This week at Stamp, Scrap, and Doodle Saturday Challenge, our challenge is to do winter birds. And our sponsor is Ike from Ike's World, and she has a lot of really neat birds. And so I colored a couple of these. I think she called them finches on her website, but I thought they looked like black-capped chickadees, and they're really a winter bird here in Wisconsin. So I colored a couple of them. I like the way this one turned out better. I used a little bit of white, one of these white pens to do the outlining. What is this thing? Uniball pen to do a little bit of white detailing on the feathers. And then I used some craft cardstock, so it's a half of 8.5 by 11. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. And then I took a piece of paper from this Campfire October Afternoon pack. I love this pack of paper. I just love it. These are the prettiest papers. And I found this package of papers at a hardware store. Hardware stores are my favorite stores, but this one actually had a craft section, and I just couldn't believe this paper. I thought it was so cool. So there's a lot of cool paper in there, and I got it last summer, and of course I haven't used it because I'm hoarding it like everybody does. Anyway, so I took this piece of paper and I'm going to layer that on there. This piece is 4.25, or no, this is 4 by 5.25, so it's just a little bit smaller than this. Now line that up like that. Then I cut a pine bough with a pine cone with my gypsy from one of my cartridges, and this was one of the cuts that Ike wanted, so I'm going to be sending this to her. So I'm just going to take and put some glue on the back of this, because this image is like a 3-layered image. Little piece. I've been cutting lots and lots of snowflakes, so I have little pieces of white paper all over the place. I keep vacuuming it up, and it keeps coming back. Then I'm going to take some vintage photo, and I'm going to just distress that just a little bit, because I don't want it to look so new and bright. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the pine cone. Now the pine cone has like these little score marks in it, and they won't show unless you do a little bit of distressing to it. So that I'm going to distress really good. Then I want to take a little bit and do around the edges here too of the vintage photo. I was going to use the forest moss, but I kind of forgot, so I have a new tripod thing, attachment to my tripod, and I can't see if if I'm in the camera or not, so I hope I don't have to do this like 60 billion times. Okay, so there's my base card, and then I'm just going to put the pine cone on here, or the pine bough, the pine cone, and then I'm going to put my bird up here, and then I'm also going to stamp a little sentiment, and I've taken a piece of certainly celery, I believe that is, and I have a really cute little hi there stamp that I think this is a Hero Art stamp. This came from another hardware store that sells stamps. It was $1.49. So I'm going to take the same vintage photo because I like this brown color, and I'm just going to stamp that in the middle of this. And it's like the little birdies coming to say hi there. And then I'm going to put it on this piece of craft, which I'm going to use some vintage photo around the edge of that too. It just makes the cuts, the die cuts, pop out. Now I can use this forest moss. I like this color too on this certainly celery. Just put that around the edge there. All right, put this together and this will be one quick little card. This one here, line that up. And these of course are Nestabilities die cuts, and then I'm just going to sit that there and this right here, and I'll get that glued on right now. So I'm just putting a little bit of tape on the back of the pine cone. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this glue and just make sure that the little edges are glued down and the stem. Line that up. This is really a cute cricket cut. I think it's from when it's cold outside. I'm not sure. I'll put it down in the description. But I like this one. It's, you know, kind of big, and therefore the Cricut cut it really nice. Let's see. My Cricut wasn't cutting small snowflakes very good, so it's about 4 inches long. And then I'm going to take this adorable little bird, and I'm just going to use some Pop Dot. And there's the outside of the card. Then the inside of the card, I just used a Martha Stewart punch. This punch is Woodland Branches, and I punched the edge of some paper. Now this paper, I think this paper was in the back of an old workbook that my students used to have. There were like these 1 or 2 pages in the back, and at the end of the year when all the covers and stuff get thrown away, I went through and took out all the paper because I thought, you know, I would use it the next year for my students, and then if I had it left over, then brought it home to recycle it. All right, so that's just going to go in there like that. And there you have it, my winter bird card. So I hope you like it. Oh, one more thing, and this is one of my goals this year, is every time I finish a card, I'm going to stamp the back of it with my little stamp. It's one that I've had since, oh boy, the 80s. And all it says is handmade, especially for you by Linda. And I decided I was going to do that because the other night, or over Christmas, I sat down and went through hundreds of cards and put the stamps on the back of them. So I want to remember to do that with every one of my cards. So I hope you'll join us at Stamp, Scrap, and Doodle Saturday. And I am doing a design team call over there, so that would be great if you would give me, if you're interested in being on a design team and you want to try out, just send me an email. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.